So Josh, the homeless guy here, talking about American coins and how stupid or strange the Americans are. Somebody suggested to me that the reason a coin is struck, heads this way, tails this way, upside down, was something between paganism, witchcraft, and tradition. I went, there's no way. There's no way that that's the only reason they do something that weird. Because Americans are anything but predictable. No, they're actually incredibly predictable. They're extremely predictable. They're one of the most predictable countries on the earth. You can always tell what an American is going to do by 1/48th of their planet's very size. Plus or minus a state. Anyways, but back to the coins, because that's bullshit, and I'm not going with bullshit. I'm also talking about quantum singularities. Anyways, the coins themselves actually are not traditionally struck like this. It has nothing to do with tradition. As far as I can tell, the best reason that I found is, in fact, the detail on the coin. Most times when artists are doing coins like this, they spend more time on the face, the hair. If I had an American coin, I'd show you the eagle's wings on the back. They're slightly higher up on the coin than they are the lower part. And it has to do with how much force you need to squish one of these little guys to get a picture on it. And if you have a really detailed picture like the American coins do, because they are foolishly detailed. Like these things, you put them under a microscope, they're amazing. But anyways, the detail on them, if you squash this coin and had all the detail on one side of the coin instead of evenly distributed across the entire coin, the coin would be uneven. It would be sort of like, you'd have weird shaped coins. They would never come out flat. Dimes would be just about impossible. This is a nickel. They probably could do it with nickels, but yeah, I guess it's tradition in the fact that they do that, and it's non-tradition in the fact they do it for a good reason. But now here's the question. So, what happens when I cause a big ass problem and toss a coin inside a quantum singularity? Quantum singularity, for those who don't know, is something that's based on the idea from physics of black holes leading somewhere. Why not? They have massive amounts of gravity. They suck in everything, including light. They must go somewhere, right? So a singularity concept is the idea that they do go somewhere. Wormholes, same-ish idea. That's the idea of having a drinking straw in the universe at one point or another. Star Trek covered all this crap. Don't worry about it. If you don't watch Star Trek, go watch Star Trek. It'll teach you more about quantum physics than anything else the professor will teach you in the first 2 years. Because they hate Star Trek. Because it teaches everything they do. It does. No, it actually does. Watch 10 seasons of Star Trek and then tell me you're smarter than a quantum physics professor, and the answer is probably maybe. If the quantum physics professor argues probably maybe, you need a new professor. Anyways, so what happens when I toss one of these things inside a quantum singularity? No. What happens when I toss one of these things inside a quantum singularity? There's your answer. You like that? That's what happened. What'd you hear? 2 coins hit the ground. Not just 1, 2. So am I inside a quantum singularity? Of course not. I just happen to have 2 nickels to rub together. Yeah. I'm a homeless guy. What do you think? I got nickels. I don't have dollars. I ain't Benjamin. I ain't burning Benjamins. There's nothing I can do with that. Anyways, here's what it's like in a quantum singularity. Heads or tails? And now I don't know what the answer is because I haven't looked. Here's the twist. In the odds of probability, the dropping of 1 coin is a 50-50 shot of it landing. Assuming perfect situation of physics, gravity, weight, inertia, aerodynamics. That's a perfect 50-50. In the universe and the world, there's no such thing. You can actually learn how to call a coin toss just based on if you knew the table landed the coin a certain way. If you flipped a coin on your coffee table 1,000 times and found there was a bias towards head versus tails, it's the coffee table. I assure you it's the coffee table. It's not a witch or a magnet, it's the coffee table. Or a magnet under the coffee table. But if you can find that bias, you can determine it. In a perfect universe, it's 50-50. It's not. It never is. It never. But the odds are out infinitesimal small. It's like 50.0000000000944 or something like that on a U.S. nickel, because of the weight and balance differential between head and tail. Anyways, that aside, the second coin landing actually changes the physical odds of the first coin. Instead of it being 50-50, and it doesn't become 1/3 either. It's actually, you have the option of heads, 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 tails, tails, heads, 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 tails, tails. There's one extra probability, and I can call it heads, tails, or tails, heads. It would make no difference. It's every possibility plus 1 possibility. And that's what happens inside exactly. But you can't do that inside a quantum singularity. But why? Because you're not throwing two coins inside a quantum singularity. You're throwing one. I had two coins, but that's to simulate what it's like inside the quantum singularity because the odds become unbiased. On the universal plane of existence of a quantum singularity, assuming it's perfectly flat plane like this, you have your up and your down, your left, your right. It doesn't matter. There's no difference in size. It's just the way it works. You don't get two coins. You get one coin with three options. Effectively is what it's like. We can't actually split it percentage-wise, but that is actually what it would be like if you toss a coin inside a quantum singularity. I'm Josh Dolman's guy. Talk later.